And good morning on Thursday, November 3rd. Yeah, it just went over into my head. I already forgot. It's time for episode 135 of the 359 podcast. Good morning.
Good morning.
What are we up to today?
We have two special guests today. We have Connie Guglielmo, who is our editor-in-chief of CNET News. So thank you very much. I think this is your first time on the podcast. Is that right?
That is right.
All right. So thank you very much for being here. And Connie, you got a chance to test out the Google Home. So that's why we're having you here today. And as always, and we're also going to be talking about Facebook's earnings and voter selfies, which I'm sure is a very important thing for everybody going into November 8th. As always, send in your questions and comments. We'll get to them at the end of the show, and let's get started.
All right. Start the recording in 3, 2.
Okay, Google, beatbox.
If you want a freestyle, my friend has you covered.
Welcome to the 359, where we talk about the top tech news of the day, plus whatever crap we want to talk about. I'm Ben Fox-Rubin, and I'm here today with editor-in-chief of CNET News, Connie Guglielmo, and the Google Assistant. Connie, thanks for coming by.
My pleasure.
Okay, Google, stop. So reviews are out for the Google Home Smart Speaker, which becomes available tomorrow. The speaker can answer personalized questions by integrating with your Google Calendar and Google Maps. But our reviewer, Andrew Gephardt, said that it's still clearly second banana to Amazon's rival smart speaker, which is the Amazon Echo. Connie, what did you think of this device? You got to try it out.
So I agree with our reviewer. Not because Google Home doesn't have a lot of potential. It absolutely does. But Amazon has a 2-year head start. So the amount of things that you can do with their device versus Google Home, it's just, there's no comparison. 3,000 skills or applications that it works with and integrates
right.
with.
That's the Echo.
The Echo, all the number of devices that work with it. Google is starting out with 4, including the Nest thermostat. Mm-hmm. I think the most interesting thing for me about Google Home is when we talked to Sundar Pichai back at Google I/O a few months ago when he introduced this device, that the Google Home Assistant was not developed by the Nest Labs. Google Home was actually done by Google, the search team.
Right.
Because they don't look at this as a home assistant. They look at assistant, which is the part of this that talks to you, as the fundamental AI tech that's going to drive everything Google does in the future.
That is going to move you from the text bar to just basically being integrated into your entire life, which I think is a really interesting concept. The thing that I also like about the Google Home is that it's very pretty. It's smaller than the Echo. And I certainly like the idea that there's more competition in this market. So the way that these assistants also work is that they're constantly updated from the cloud. So you can definitely expect these to get better as time goes on.
And Google is certainly hoping the fact that they come in 7 different finishes and colors. We don't know how much those cost. That will be announced tomorrow. The space unit of $129, and then you get the optional cover pick, I think. Or maybe you get to pick your cover when you order it. We'll see.
Yeah. But they're coming out tomorrow, so check them out. And yeah, $130, which compared to the Echo, which starts at, well, the original is $180.
That's right.
Next, Facebook's latest quarterly report show that the social network is raking it in. Profits tripled to $2.38 billion. I had no idea. Me wasting my time on social media was so valuable.
Well, it's not just that they are raking it in. That was a really good earnings report for them, but it's that it's the 3rd or 4th in a row where they've topped estimates. And the big driver of their success is not just mobile, which is where they're putting a lot of effort, getting people to use Facebook on mobile devices, but how much video now is going into Facebook.
Yep, exactly. Mark Zuckerberg talked a lot about that yesterday. He said that video is going to be a primary form of sharing going into the future. I don't really know if that's true. I think people are using their cameras a lot more, especially with Instagram. However, maybe video is going to be much more critical. I think that's good for Facebook. It increases engagement, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that you have to think about who's using Facebook and different age groups, right? People were looking at Snapchat at the beginning and saying, what? Why would you do that?
And that's a ton of video, totally.
And Facebook is copying a lot of the features that Snapchat have brought to the market. So certain people are very comfortable using video, and they just don't give it a second thought.
Yeah. Those are very, very good points. Last, with what little time we have left, a judge upheld a century-old law that bans voters taking selfies with their ballots. That's in California. Apparently, these laws were started to prevent vote buying and coercion, and there are about 18 states that have these laws. Connie, do you think that they're a little outdated by now, though?
The laws are outdated, but as you mentioned before we started this podcast, training people who work at the voting polls to uphold that and try to build tech into the process takes a lot of time, especially when you're dealing with 50 individual states managing polling places.
Well, we'll see if we get to do selfies in 2020. In the meantime, it's still illegal. So if you want to read more about these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Connie Guillermo.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
We should play with Google some more. But
Okay.
first, we need to acknowledge that there's some weird stalker guy in the chat named Roger. He says good morning like he knows you.
Let me see. Okay, Google. Who's Roger Chang?
According to Wikipedia, Roger Chang is a computer enthusiast and American television personality, best known for his time as a segment producer and his appearances on Detectives Call for Help and The Screensavers.
Is that our Roger Chang?
I don't think so. I think Roger Chang has a doppelganger.
I think that sounds like a much more important and impressive Roger Chang than the one that we know. But that's okay.
Not going to go there.
Thanks for listening, Roger, by the way.
Here's another. That is so not right. There is a good question in the chat. What other languages does Google support?
Well, right now we know it's being released in the U.S., and they haven't really talked about beyond that. What I talked to a bunch of Google executives just earlier this week. You know, this is very beginning Google Home. So if you're buying this and you're one of the first people, congratulations you. You're on the cutting edge. You're a risk taker. They are going to look at using different voices. Right now there's a woman's voice that is the voice of assistant, and they're going to look at accents. They are going to bring it to different markets, but they're testing all of that right now. So don't have a lot of details yet. But
yeah, we've spoken about this on the show before, too, that it took quite some time for the Amazon Echo to even reach the UK, because if you ask certain things like how do you spell color, it's different whether it's in the US or the UK. So there's a lot of effort that goes into that kind of thing. And that's still the same language.
Yeah,
They're just different aspects.
The advantage for Google is that they have Google Now. Google Assistant was born of Google Now. Google Now has been in use. So if you look at where Google Now and the languages that are available, that's a good guideline for you.
We should do some more tests. Okay, Google, what's the weather going to be like this afternoon in New York?
This afternoon, it's predicted to be 70 and cloudy.
That doesn't sound like November to me.
You can also
She's
have fun
right.
with it. Okay, Google, tell us a fun fact.
According to Cleaning Building Services New York Inc., fun facts about New York City. Known by many nicknames, including the Empire State and the Big Apple, New York City is one of the most important places in the world. As one of the largest and most diverse cities, New York is home to many famous and talented people.
Like Roger Chang.
How is this I don't know if that really constituted a fun fact. But
I
wasn't
think
very
maybe
fun.
it was ripping
That
off
wasn't
of your
so fun.
weather.
Might have, yeah.
Oh.
It's starting to learn.
It's starting.
Quick,
Oh,
let's go.
Oh, God.
Well, we can try one more. Okay, Google, tell us a fun fact.
Sorry, I'm not sure how to help.
Let me try this. Okay, so my daughter loves when the Echo sings. She literally sings happy birthday. It's the only thing that she actually sings. So let's see if the Google Assistant will do the same thing. Okay, Google, sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the most amazing person in the universe.
I'm impressed.
Happy birthday
That's
to
not bad.
you.
Not bad.
Lovely
She's got
voice.
she's got good pipes.
Until that.
You heard it first here.
Yeah.
Wait, can we get sued for that? Don't they? Isn't there copyright on the birthday song?
I would love if we were to get sued over having the Google Assistant sing us happy birthday on a podcast. That would be a real pinnacle for my career.
What was the price on this again?
$130.
$130. Think that'll
has-
come down soon, or
It's actually, as far as I'm concerned, that's a pretty reasonable
Pretty
price,
comparable.
considering that the original Echo starts at or the top price is $180. So the difference is $50. You can get the Echo Dot, which is just the top of the speaker. It's this little hockey puck shaped thing. And I would probably recommend that if you haven't tried any of these before, because the Echo Dot is $50 and it is probably going to go on sale for even less.
And CNET gave the Dot a 5-star review.
Yes. And it is, I have the Echo and the Echo Dot in my house. And yeah, I use them a lot, mostly to ask about the weather.
I'm interested to see where this will be in about 6 months, if it really does like an accelerated catch up compared to the Echo. And well, we already kind of brushed off poor Siri.
Well, as with all online services, this isn't actually the product, Google Home. We are the product.
Very
Everyone
true.
using it is the
God.
beta tester for Google and figuring out what questions people want to ask, what kinds of things they want to know. So they need uptick among users using Google Assistant, which also is built into the Pixel phones. Those have just started coming out, so there are not very many users. So they need users to test Assistant.
Amazon has done a fantastic job with partnerships. They've partnered with all these different smart home makers, and Andrew Gebhardt, our reviewer, mentioned this, that Google still has a lot of work to do as far as getting a lot more partners involved. So I would expect a lot of that to happen over the next 6 months as well. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Google, remind me to buy milk later.
Sorry, I can't set reminders yet.
Oh, probably because we haven't attached it to anyone's calendar yet.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
she knew what you were talking about.
That's
which is
right.
good. Yeah.
Doesn't have the banks to go.
Okay,
go to.
Google, what's the closest star to Earth?
According to Sky and Telescope, the sun is the closest star to
Okay.
Earth, about
That
93
was-
million
I guess that
miles
was
away.
kind of a trick
The
question,
sun's
wasn't
nearest
it?
neighbor,
As I
Alpha
was-
Centauri, is actually a triple star system
That's
not
of
bad.
stars bound together by gravity. Alpha Centauri A and B are two bright, closely orbiting stars with a distant, dim companion, Proxima Centauri.
We hope you're all learning something today.
That was a thorough answer.
Bob says it's an NSA covert spying tool.
It's entirely possible.
It's very possible.
Well, we should mention an important thing about the home, and that is it's synced to one user account. So anybody coming into your home and having access to your Google Home would also have access to whatever you synced to.
Right, like,
so
what's my
your,
calendar?
Your calendar or read my email. So it is in your home. So hopefully you are not inviting people that you don't want into your home. But, inadvertently, if you have, I don't know, a house cleaner or a babysitter or somebody who just wants to mess with you, one of your friends, they do have access to everything that you've opened up Google Home to.
Totally a good point, because the rumored Apple rival Echo is they're at least testing out the idea of having a camera on that device, so it will actually recognize different people when they come in.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, well, a lot of people might not like that, and it's a continuation that, like, we're going to give you more services, but at the same time, you're going to give up, smaller, little pieces of your privacy along the way. And so it's helpful that there would be multiple accounts that could be very easily and seamlessly found using this device, but I don't know how much people actually want a camera looking at them in their kitchen.
Well, I think it speaks to the point that people understand that having that open mic into your digital life, I mean, you're giving that access right now to Google, which is already problematic for some people.
Yeah.
How much are they listening? What are they listening to? What's going to happen to it?
It's a subject that I know Amazon has been touchy about when I have written about the Echo. It is an always listening speaker, but they want to make sure that you know that it's always listening for the wake word, which is Alexa or Amazon, depending on that. And I think Google is probably just as sensitive about it, because they know that people don't want a hot mic around them at all times. That being said, like, I say Alexa sometimes, and just whatever, like, I'm talking about the device and she picks up and starts listening. I'm not actually talking to her, though.
So she's like a jealous girlfriend.
Exactly. Well, she's more like one of my kids. She's like
There you go.
my like fourth kid, where I say, like, I really don't like it when Alexa does this or whatever. So
It would be interesting if Google got possessive if you mentioned Alexa around it and it got mad.
wait, all right,
Who's that?
Okay, Google, who's Alexa?
Sorry, I'm not sure how to help with that.
It's very
but I'm
diplomatic.
reading more every day.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very diplomatic.
Here's a rabbit hole we shouldn't go down, but I'm going to. Okay, Google, explain string theory.
String theory, a cosmological theory based on the existence of cosmic strings.
Oh, I thought that was.
Oh, that was very
That was
yeah.
succinct.
That was efficient.
Okay.
I think that's one of the big benefits of this device, by the way, that it's connected to Google Search. Google's been doing search for 20 years, and it's going to be able to answer those questions in many ways much more effectively than the Echo. That being said, are people really going to be like pinging this thing for trivia questions all the time? No. So
Maybe.
mostly it's the weather and yeah.
I mean-
yeah, maybe kids want to use it for
Homework cheats.
that's like what their sizzle reel showed, that like
Yeah.
a kid was using it for homework.
Yeah, but I could see people sitting around the dinner table. And what was the name of that movie? And now you can just ask. You don't have to pull out your smartphone.
Which is so annoying.
Oh, the joys of first world computing.
Okay, Google, what was Christopher Walken's last movie?
Christopher Walken's movies include The Deer Hunter, Pulp Fiction, and 59 others.
All right, so not precise, but
In
got the right
ballpark.
keywords.
We're
yeah.
gonna give her partial credit for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty fun.
Cool.
I don't know what
All
else
right,
to
wait,
say,
I
but
have
it's
another
fun.
one.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Google. What's the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
I'd love to know if it was an African or European swallow.
Monty
Monty
Python.
Python
fans.
reference.
Wow. All right, that was pretty cool.
Some nice little Easter eggs there that make it worth your $130. All right, that's cool. Do we have any other questions?
Okay, Google, what are the lyrics to Smash Mouth All-Star?
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that.
That's too bad. She's got a bit of a delay on her.
A little bit.
As opposed to, I think they've done a really good job with the Echo, where it doesn't seem as delayed. With time, that's going to change, I'm sure.
Part of me wonders if that's anything at fault with the Wi-Fi network in here.
And we are asking fairly complex questions.
Right.
you know.
Okay, Google, who is Siri?
Siri is Apple's intelligent assistant. She's very witty.
Oh, that's such shade to
Oh.
Alexa. Oh my God. So you know who Siri is, but you don't know who Alexa is. I get it. That's fine. That's fine.
All right. But Siri is rude. Yeah, maybe a little bit. And maybe that was the diplomatic way of Google saying witty. She said she was witty. So, all right. Maybe that's a good place to wrap it up for the day.
I would say so.
Okay,
Yeah.
Google, play us out.
All right, playing Adele on Spotify.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
You can do it.
This
Nothing?
is a great song by Adele. Okay. The 359 is available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, Google Play Music, and of course on CNET.com. Connie, thanks very much for joining us. And
Always a
thanks
pleasure.
everybody for listening.
See you next week.
See you on Monday.